Hi everyone, so we are here today on... Hi everyone, can you all hear me? Hi everyone, can you all hear me? If you all can hear me, please type a 1 in the chat. Hi everyone, can you all hear me? Okay, so sorry for the wait you guys. So there was some technical difficulties, so I restarted the stream. And today we're gonna be talking about TASMO 2024. Yay! Okay, so I think there are quite a few people in our chat right now, in our watching this webinar. So later we'll be going through certain things in TASMO, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try my best to answer everyone's questions. So today we're going to go through 2024 TASMO. There are a few things that we want to cover. What are the various type of Math Olympiads in Singapore? Why is TASMO even important? What is it? Why join? As well as what are the details that you need to take note in order to prepare for TASMO. So if everyone is here, maybe we'll wait for a couple of minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, maybe then I'll introduce myself as well, because normally I do not do any YouTube streams. I do it probably once a year, because last year I also did the TASMO briefing, I think if I remember correctly. Normally I personally do TikTok lives for primary 5, primary 6 PSLE, but I don't show my face because I'm a little shy. But anyway, so today, normally I'm my face is hidden, but today for the sake of the TASMO briefing, so we'll put my face on the top right hand corner. Yeah, so today we will talk a little bit about TASMO. We'll wait a couple more minutes, maybe 1 to 2 more minutes, and then we'll start, maybe 3 minutes lah. Then we'll start at 7:05. Sorry for the technical difficulties, alright? We have a couple of people in the chat. I see, some of our friends, parents. So today I'm at Tai Seng. This is our beautiful classroom. It's very white and bright. So if some of you are joining TASMO and have chosen our exam venue at Tai Seng, so this place will be one of the venue that we will be using for our kids. So Tai Seng is actually one of our newest center. So everything is very well finished, very bright, and it's well renovated. So you can just get your kids to come down, see if they like the place. And we have a very big attraction for kids. So the thing outside our classroom is this really large Lego wall. And the kids love it. So if they're probably on that day of TASMO might be quite hectic, but on a normal day, if you just get your kids to come down, they don't need to have class, they can just come down and play with the Lego, it's fine. So we are more than happy to have the kids play with the Legos and make sure that it's well put to use. So if everyone is here, maybe we'll wait 2 more minutes, 7:05. If you can hear me, I know some of our friends already typed a 1 in the chat. The rest of us, if you can hear me, just maybe type a 1 in the chat, and then we can see, just so that everyone can hear me perfectly. Yeah. And I know this sounds like a briefing, like I'm just gonna tell you, but if you have any questions and if you would like to interact with me, I'm more than happy to interact with you. Definitely, I think it's much better than like talking to myself. Yeah. Okay, and we'll begin in 1 minute's time. In the meantime, for those of us who are, let me know if it's your first time joining TASMO. If it's your first time, maybe you can let me know in the chat by saying 1. And if it's not your first time, it's probably your second or third time. If it's your second time, you can put a 2. And if it's your third time, it's a 3. Okay? Because actually TASMO has been running for 3 years. Okay? Yeah, TASMO has been running for 3 years. Okay, our friend says 1. Some of our friends have said 1. Yeah, Syed also has said 1. This is your first time joining TASMO. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, okay, 7:05. So let's start. Oh, okay. Anderson Draws Forever says 2. And Chiang Fuan says 1. Okay, so actually TASMO, right, it's been running for 3 years. The first year was actually fully offline, and that was during the time when COVID just like finished. We just started opening up, so we weren't too sure if we should do like an offline test. But then since everything, like all the other major math competitions have started to move offline, we have decided to move offline as well, because students need, in order to do well, I think a lot of it is about time practices and actual simulation of the competition. So we wanted to move TASMO into an offline activity so that students can experience what it's like to take a math Olympiad as well. Yeah, so I think most of you it's your first time. Only maybe a couple of you are the second time. So we are very happy to have you today. So we'll go through some of these things. These are the main 4 points that I'm going to go through. Firstly is, what are the Math Olympiads in Singapore? What is TASMO and why join TASMO? As well as certain details of TASMOs that you need to take note. And for those of us who don't even know what TASMO is or have not signed up, if you would like to sign up, you can scan the QR code over there on the right hand side. Otherwise, maybe you can listen to me, tell you about TASMO first before making a decision. That's totally fine as well. Okay, so why are we even doing TASMO in the first place? So before we get into that, I want to share with you a little bit about what is Math Olympiad, because some parents are also a little they're not too sure what's the difference between Math Olympiad and real math and the math that is taught in school. So if you have math in school, so math in school are the kind of questions that you typically see in PSLE. So from primary 1 all the way to primary 6, teachers are actually preparing them for, to build their foundations in order to take the PSLE. So the PSLE, in terms of like weightages, actually maybe 70 to 80% is just basic application of formula, knowing what is going to be tested. But if you're talking about MO or Math Olympiad, you can see this question. So this question is actually a question from primary 2 SASMO, I think maybe in the last few years, the recent few years. So you can see this question, right? 10 minus 6 plus 20 minus 16 plus 30 minus 26 and all these. So how is a primary 2 student, right, supposed to manage such a large number? So in terms of Math Olympiad, students are actually challenged. So they are given usually questions that are a bit outside of the norm, a bit more creative, where they might have to take multiple concepts or think of alternative concepts to be able to solve a question. So for questions like this, typically, the answer to, a good answer to be able to solve this is, if you can see 10 minus 6, actually this gives you 4. And you can see that 20 minus 16 will give you 4. So you have actually many 4 sets of 4s, and then multiply the number of sets plus 2021. So I think in terms of Math Olympiad, what they're testing you is actually your speed, and you are able to come up with creative solutions that is able to solve the question in very short amount of time. So they are actually testing your finesse in terms of mathematical thinking. So that is what I think Math Olympiad is truly about. So why are we actually encouraging students to take Math Olympiad? Number one is because it hones their mathematical thinking. And number two is in terms of developing a child, and from K2 all the way to primary 6, it's helping them towards a certain goal. And I will share with you what kind of goal and what kind of student is actually suitable for Math Olympiad by showing you a milestone in terms of Singapore primary school. Okay, so I'm going to show, so if you can see this chart with me, actually for Think Academy, right, we have courses from K2 all the way to P6. So some parents will say like, wow, okay, why K2, right? K2 seems a bit young for like Math Olympiad. Okay, so what is happening is at K2, it's a good time because a lot of students or a lot of parents are actually starting to expose their child to multiple enrichments, okay? So it could be things like gymnastics. So like enticing, over at the second floor, there are a lot of like students going for gymnastics, like Stardust gymnastics and everything, right? But K2 is actually a perfect time to allow students to begin to kind of explore their interests and what they want. So once, you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm a tiger mom, I'm sending my kids to all these enrichment. It's actually trying to help them discover what is their hobbies, what are the things that they actually like. And if you look with me, at this particular page is the milestones in Singapore primary school. So as we all know, primary 6 is when we have our major PSLE. So this is something that everyone knows. But a lot of Singaporean parents, as compared to like the Chinese parents or Chinese nationals that are in Singapore, a lot of Singaporean parents don't know that some of the schools actually start to send students to Math Olympiad at primary 4. But if you want to be able to excel at Math Olympiad, or if you realize that, hey, my child is actually pretty good in primary school, in primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, you realize that, hey, my child is actually pretty good at math, at primary 4, there's actually a chance where the teacher will actually send the students to represent the school at various top competitions, okay? So I'm going to go through with you from from primary 1 all the way to primary 6, what are the major Math Olympiads that students are sent for or can register as a private candidate, okay? So at primary 1 and primary 2, we suggest parents to start sending students to TASMO and SMKC, and these usually happen in March or April. So SMKC focuses a lot on like spatial visual kind of questions where they solve like diagram puzzles, number puzzles, a bit more spatial awareness kind of questions. So if you see like if you rotate this particular diagram, if you rotate this diagram, what does it, if you rotate this diagram 45 degrees, for example, what does it look like? If you flip it, what does it look like? Then you have to select the options. But as compared to TASMO is a lot of word problem application. And you can see that they actually happen in March and April. So in primary 1 and primary 2, they can start sending, or you can register as a private candidate for TASMO and SMKC. At primary 3, you will know this thing called the GP. So GP usually happens in August, that's round 1, and in October, GP round 2, right? But from this year onwards, as you know, Prime Minister has already shared with all of us that there are going to be changes to the GP, and there will not be a round 2, but the GP will take a different form. But we have to take note that actually the GP round 1, the standardized testing, will still be there. So if you still would like your children to be able to explore their interests and get through the GP, maybe GP is still something worth preparing for, just to hone their mathematical thinking skills. Then at primary 3 also, you'll see the same thing, TASMO and SMKC. Right, at the bottom you see CMOC. CMOC is actually a math competition where selected students will be able to join. So like for example, if you receive bronze, silver, gold in TASMO, in AMO or Singapore Math Global Finals, they actually get to go for CMOC, right? So it's actually by invitation only. Okay, so why do parents actually start sending students, right, to TASMO and SMKC at such an early age? So in primary 3, because of the GEP, a lot of parents start sending them to TASMO and SMKC as a way to start preparing or to know their standard for the GEP. So this is why a lot of parents want to send their kids to TASMO and SMKC. Okay? Then, at primary 4, primary 5, and primary 6, you'll see all these like weird acronyms. RMO, SMOPS, NEMOS. So these three competitions are the competition you need to look out for if you want if you want your child to DSA. Because these 3 competitions are hosted by Raffles Institution, Hwa Chong Institution, as well as NUS High School of Math and Science. And these 3 competitions holds a lot of weightage in terms of helping your child to be able to get in through DSA in terms of math, in the math domain. Okay? So, if you can see, in primary 4, primary 5, primary 6, in primary 4, March onwards, you will start to have RMO. And you need to start preparing for NEMOS. Right? In primary 5, you realize that April, there is SMOPS for primary 5 students, only 10 P5 students per school. Then in August, there is NEMOS. And then in primary 6, a lot of people will start to focus on either PSLE, or if they are really, really good, they are really focused on Math Olympiad. In April, there is SMOPS. SMOPS is when you are really like taking the primary 6, is one of the hardest Math Olympiad, and you have to do well at either primary 5 or primary 6. And then, so then September onwards, you are doing the PSLE. Okay, so these are the 3 competitions that you really need to take note in terms of DSA. Well, what if like, in terms of DSA, you need to do well in terms of in terms of NEMOS, NUS High School will only take in students if you do well in NEMOS. So if your child has the ambition to work towards NUS High School, then you really need to get a gold or really rank top in terms of NEMOS. And if you do relatively well in RMO, SMOPS, and NEMOS, and do well in school, you are able to DSA into Hwa Chong, Raffles Institution, there are maybe 7 to 10 schools that has the math domain. Okay? So, what if my child doesn't want to DSA for Math Olympiad, or you feel like, hey, maybe my child, I'm not sure if my child is actually good at math, right? So, why these Math Olympiads are still important is because at the end of the day, you need to hone their interest, and you need to be able to kind of understand if they are actually Hi, sorry guys, can you still hear me? Can you all hear me? If you all can hear me, can you put a 1? I know like my camera is a bit weird. Okay, can hear, but the video is not working, right? Okay. I'm gonna turn off my camera, okay? I think maybe my computer is not so good. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my camera. But let me just continue, just for this, just to move on. Okay, let me just continue and say that why is it important for exposure? So at the end of the day, right, it's about knowing your child's interests, right, if they are good at math. And if they are good at math, exposing them at an early age, give them an edge. So I'm even talking about preparing them for future in terms of getting a job, right? The last time when we did this webinar in Chinese, I was talking to my colleague, we were talking about how math is actually really important in terms of AI, in terms of, we know that in the future, AI is gonna, the industry is really big. So if they are really good at math, this is a chance to expose them, okay? The next thing is, it's because even if they don't want to get into a math, in terms of getting into a math industry in the future, giving them these opportunities to take Math Olympiad actually really boost their resume, or even like giving them an edge in terms of being special or being unique. So if they have the opportunity to try all these Math Olympiad, please, by all means, let them try, even though you don't want to seem like a tiger mom or whatever, but just let them try and see where that takes them. So I think it's important to just let them try and expose them, right? And the last major competition would then be AMC 8, which is in January. Okay, so AMC 8 is like an American math competition, and they are actually testing content above into secondary school. So these are some of this particular competition, AMC 8, is a Math Olympiad competition that is suitable for international students who want to, in the future, study in America. So this will really boost their chances into getting into an Ivy League, such as Princeton, Oxford, Harvard. So we have a teacher here, which is teacher Belinda. She's a Math Olympiad. Last time she was a Math Olympian. Now she's a Math Olympiad coach, and she has a lot of experience in terms of like studying, in terms of taking many Math Olympiads such as SMOPS. She was top 10 in SMOPS actually when she was in primary school, and that's actually how she can boost her resume or her portfolio in terms of getting into an Ivy League school. So I think while we feel like, okay, let's not stress our children, all of these are opportunities where you can let your child be exposed and try different things. So as you can see, why I talk for like 15 minutes, right, about the milestones in Singapore Primary School Math Olympiad is because, as you can see, in the second half of the year, there are virtually no Math Olympiads that you can join. Just before the big ones such as TASMO and SMKC. So next year, March and April, there will be TASMO and SMKC. But from now till then, what can you do? There are no Math Olympiads that you can try. So that's where TASMO comes in. So TASMO is our Think Academy Singapore Math Olympiad. It is a math competition organized by us to cultivate children's interest in math. And all of these questions are actually going to be a bit more challenging in nature, non-routine in nature, to emulate the difficulty of such competitions. So at Primary 1, Primary 2, Primary 3, you'll realize that our difficulty level is going to be at TASMO to emulate TASMO difficulty level such that they will be prepared for TASMO next year. Then in Primary 4, Primary 5, Primary 6, later I'll show you in detail what are the topics that are tested. But in Primary 4, Primary 5, Primary 6, they will emulate the difficulty of NEMOS, RMO, SMOPS. This is in preparation for all the Math Olympiads in 2025. Okay, so as you can see, last year we hosted our TASMO at Lifelong Learning Center. So this year we have upgraded. Instead of having it only at one place, we have it at two places now that you can choose from. One is at Tai Seng, the other one is at One North. Okay, so last year we have 800 over participants. So I mean, the first time we have organized a offline competition, so we are really proud of that. Yeah, so this year we hope that more people will come and sign up. So if you have not signed up, please let me know. I'll send you the link to sign up. And if you have friends that you want to buddy up and then just come together, have fun. It's Halloween, right? 31st of December, and it's a public holiday. So if it's a public holiday, you probably have a little bit of time spared. Then come in the morning, come in the designated time for your exam, and then after that go out and play. Yeah, so on a Thursday. So why join TASMO? Like I mentioned, the questions are pitched at SMKC, TASMO, SMOPS, RMO, and NEMOS level. And this will be an island-wide competition. So students from all over Singapore will join, and there will be attractive prizes to be won. So in terms of platinum, if you win platinum, so platinum is the top 3 students or top 3% of the entire number of students in each level. They will be able to win prizes worth up to $3,000 and more. Okay, so I know sometimes people might feel like, wow, 3,000 seems like a lot. Okay, it really is a lot, but part of it is cash. So the cash prize is something that is worth looking out for. So if your child it's really outstanding, she'll be able to win $300 in cash. And the most important thing is we are offering a Think Academy Elite Program Scholarship. Okay, so what is this Elite Program Scholarship? So this Elite Program, right, not everybody can get in. Okay, this is because this program is very challenging in nature, and it's to help groom students or top math Olympians in Singapore. So I think if you can imagine the GP, but the math version of it, it really is to help stimulate their interest, grow their interest, help them to learn more. So I think it's really a very good opportunity if they can get into the elite class. By all means, get in. So try and get the platinum if they can. The elite program is really an opportunity that they shouldn't miss. So for the gold award, there will be $100 cash and a $500 LTC voucher. So what is this LTC voucher? The LTC voucher is a voucher that they can use for Think Academy Math Olympiad courses. So our math high achievers, they can actually take this 500 and then go for our math high achievers classes. On top of that, they will get a personalized report. So if you can see with me this report, right, you can see that. Oh, I'm trying to zoom in. You'll see that you'll be able to see their actual exam performance. So they will be rated on these 7 key abilities. On these modules, 6 modules, right? So these 6 modules, they will, based on our questions, we have also, from our system, we have also tracked, and we'll be able to see what kind of modules they are good at, what kind of topics they are weaker at. And based on that, we will also give you a summary of what are the things they can do in order to become better at this module. So this report is actually really good in terms of helping you to understand where your child is at. So I think this particular report is something that is worth taking note of. And yeah, all right, okay, so this report actually will be sent to your email. Okay, so make sure that when you sign up, your email address is correct. Okay, so that is why we have asked you for your email address, as well as there are certain things that we will send to your email address that you might need to take note of. So make sure that it is correct. Alright, so let's go into the details. So these are some of the details that you probably will already know. We have the TASMO will be happening for The TASMO is suitable for students from K1 all the way to P5. So for K2 to P3, it will be happening on 31st of October, Thursday. This is a public holiday, okay? So you all don't go to school, come to Ting Academy, okay? So K2 is, the exam will start at 11:20 all the way to 12:20. P1 is from 1 to 2:30. P2 is from 9 to 10:30 a.m. P3 is from 3 to 4:30 p.m. 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Okay? And for primary 4, it will actually be happening on a different day, 4th November. For P4 and P5, it will be at 6 to 7:30 p.m. Okay? This year, we have given you 2 locations, so make sure you choose the right location. There's one location in the west. So this is located at The Hill at 1 North, which is the NTU Alumni Club. The other location is at Tai Seng over here, okay? Alright, so this is actually the address. So you probably don't need to take note of this address because we have already sent you a report, not a report, like a confirmation email telling you where you have signed up for, some of the details that you need to take note, as well as how to get there. So you click on this link, you'll see find out how to get there. You can see a direction map, okay, on how to get there. Alright, so check out your email for this particular confirmation. Alright. So, I'm not sure how many of you are actually in K1. K1 will actually be happening on 11th of November. There are 2 time slots to take note of. So, it's at 4 to 5 p.m. and 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Okay, take note that the venue for K1 is different. You can choose from Novena or Tai Seng. So, if you are K2 to P5 and you happen to choose Novena, please let us know, okay? Because Novena is only for K1. So on our website, there are actually 4 pictures: the Legacy, Tai Seng, and then there's a Novena in Tai Seng. So please make sure you choose the right one because on the bottom right hand corner, we have labeled the correct age level. Alright, so if you need some help to, change the age, please drop me a WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number, my work WhatsApp number is 910-55348. Okay, it's 910-55348. Alright. Okay, now let's get into the format. So the format is actually pretty simple. Actually, they are all on our info pack. So if you have not downloaded our info pack, I will also send it into our WhatsApp group. So we have created a WhatsApp group where we will share sample papers, we will share practice papers, and we will also share tutorials on how to solve some of these sample questions in preparation for TASMO. Okay, so on top of it being an opportunity for students to be able to come and take the test, just have exam taking skills, right? On top of that, we are actually providing you with tutorials in order to do that, okay? Alright, so in terms of format, let's go through. For K1 and K2, it will be 60 minutes and they will both be 20 questions, but the format will slightly differ. For K1, it will be from question 1 to 8, they are MCQ questions, and it will be in a verbal format. So if they are unable to write, their writing skills are not to par yet, do not worry, because the K1 format is slightly different from a sit down an examination style. It is more like a verbal style with the teachers. So they will answer MCQ questions, and then from 9 to 12 it will be short verbal questions, okay? So not to worry if you are K1 this year. So K2, it will be a written exam, but they will not be required to shape answer sheet. So if your child is P1 or P1 to P5 this year, they will be required to shade an answer sheet, and all of these is in preparation for next year's TASMO and SMKC. Alright? So for K2, question 1 to 10 will be MCQ, from question 11 to 20 will be short answer questions and word problems. Alright, for primary 1 to 3, question 1 to 15 is MCQ, and there will be short answer questions, and they are weighted differently. So the weightage will be shown here, as well as on our info pack. So I will also send out the info pack in our WhatsApp group today. If you have not joined our WhatsApp group, please also drop me a WhatsApp message at 910555348. Okay, I will add you into the WhatsApp group, because there will be a lot of tutorials as well as sample papers where you can try. Alright, so let's look at primary 4 and primary 5. Primary 4 and primary 5, they will be 25 questions, both 25 questions, but for primary 5 it will be fully short answer questions and word problems, and for primary 4 there is a mix of MCQ and short answers and word problems. Okay, one key thing to note that is different from our TASMO and SMKC is that we will not be marking students for wrong answers. Okay, there will be no negative marking involved. There will just, if you're correct, then you accumulate points to 100 points. Okay, maximum 100 points. Alright, so like I've mentioned, we have a lot of things in our WhatsApp group. So live tutorials, sample paper explanation, as well as some additional questions and basic knowledge point explanation. So the syllabus is actually in our info pack as well. So maybe you all can just take 1 to 2 minutes to 30 seconds to just scan through the syllabus. And then I want to show you our calendar of what is happening. Alright, I see there is a question. Now my son is in primary 3, but he will be signing up for P4 TASMO. What TASMO should my son attend? Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, P3 or P4. So, I would suggest that if you want your child to kind of like prepare for TASMO next year, he can just go for P3, a P3 TASMO, right? But if you want to stretch him further, then sign up for P4. But right now, if he's P3, I suggest he just signs up for P3, okay? Because all of it will be in line in preparation for the following year. Okay, thanks for the question. Alright, okay, so 30 seconds up. Okay, let's go through this calendar. So this calendar, you don't have to take note of it because we will send it in our WhatsApp group. Okay, so all of these, you will realize that on the 1st of October, we have actually begun our registration, and we will close our registration on the 25th of October. Okay, but if you take a look with us, actually you will realize that every week there will be about 1 to 2 live tutorials, and that following week teachers will also send a sample paper before the tutorial for them to try out. So this is to help them be able to grasp some of the concept, just to let them try, experience these questions before coming for the tutorial. So these tutorials are completely free. They will take maybe half an hour half an hour to 1 hour for especially K1 and K2, and then for upper primary it will be definitely 1 hour. Okay, so if you can take a look with us, actually there is a lot of activity that will be going on. If you feel like it's a little too heavy, it's okay, you can watch playback at your own time. But I suggest you I highly recommend that kids come just to get a feel of our teachers, as well as to just try out some of the questions just for fun, right, at your own time. Okay, so there are actually really a lot of activities and free sample papers, so please join our WhatsApp group. Okay, Alright. So I've gone through some of these, but let's go through silver, what you will get if you get silver and bronze, okay? So for silver, there is a $100 scholarship for semester 1 long-term course next year. That means once they have gotten a silver and we have done our prize giving ceremony, they will be awarded this $100 scholarship where they can sign up for a Math Olympiad course next year. So for example, if we are looking, if like for example, Ninja Cactus 6 has a child who got a silver, so he will be able to get a $100 scholarship so he can sign up for semester 1 next year and then prepare for TASMO, that means P4 TASMO as well as NEMOS and and all these upper primary math Olympiad competitions, okay? So for platinum, top 3 scorers or top 3%, whichever is more, because we want to encourage students by allowing them to be able to get some of these prizes. Okay, so for gold, it will be top 8% of scorers from each level. They will be scored based on level. So for example, if you are primary 3 and you decide to take a primary 4 TASMO, right, you will be ranked based on primary 4. You will not be ranked separately with primary 3, okay? Silver will be top 9 to 20% of the scorers, while bronze will be 21 to 50%. So last year actually it was 21 to 40%, but we have expanded it to 50%, okay? So last year, some of y'all would have participated last year. Last year, we have designed the questions to be super hard because we wanted the competition to be Singapore's hardest Math Olympiad. But this year, we have changed a little bit. We wanted to help students to be able to prepare for these top major Math Olympiads. So they will be slightly easier and it will allow students to gain a bit more confidence. So this is the perfect year to join TASMO, alright? So for those of us who do not know how to register, you can scan this QR code. If you have not registered, scan this QR code. You'll see this page, click on the venue. So make sure you click on the right level and then fill up the necessary details such as name, grade, especially your email address. You need to use your email address, okay? And then click on, if you already have a student account, click on the correct child or student if you have multiple kids. And if you only have one account and you want to sign up for 2 kids, you do it for one child first and then you come back and click here to add a different account in order to, sign up for another child. Okay, don't use the same account for 2 different childs as much as possible, okay? And then you can check out, make sure you're successfully registered because there are some parents who exited before they finish this page. So make sure you receive this page before you exit, okay? And if you are a Think Academy student, this is completely free. Yeah, so that's the benefit of being a Think Academy student, yeah? Alright, so I think I'm almost done. Look, I have spoken for 45 minutes. That's really quick. But let me just go through some of the frequently asked questions, and then if you have any other questions, let me know. I can try and answer it for you. So number 1, how can I choose grades? Okay, so if make sure you are choosing the right venue and the right grade first. And when you're choosing grade, you will be at you can choose grades over here. So this is how you can choose your grades. Okay. Can I refund? There is no refund available if you cannot make it. So try to make it if you can. Another question, frequently asked question would be, what language will the paper be in? It will be in English. It will not be in Mandarin. If you need translation, no translation will be given because all the other exams will all be in English. Okay. This question is pretty important. What do I need to bring on that day? So before the exam, a contest pass will be sent to your email. So the contest pass, I don't have a screenshot of the contest pass, but it will show you your index number as well. So please bring a printed copy for your child, as well as their EZ-Link card or photo verification, just so we know And just for checking purposes, writing materials, jacket, and water bottle. Okay. Another question that is frequently asked would be any answer sheet for them to shade. So K1 and K2 will not be required to fill up an answer sheet, but for P1 and P5, they'll be required to do so in preparation for TASMO SMKC. Okay. The other thing that you probably need to take note is if they shade wrongly or if they write their answers wrongly on the answer sheet, it will be marked as wrong. So working process, we will look at the working process just to understand where their head's at, but they will not be counted towards like the working marks. Okay. And what if I registered wrongly? You can do a transfer directly on the app. So we have a Think Academy app. It's on the App Store. You can just Google Think Academy. Yeah, Think Academy. You will see two apps. One is a student app and one is a parents app. Student app is for like a long-term course student who are going for classes. But for parents who want to like buy courses or transfer, the parent app is the one that you have to use. So if you need a step-by-step, everything is also in our info pack that I will send out in our WhatsApp group. So later after this webinar, I will also send it out in the WhatsApp group. So all the steps will be inside the info pack as well. Okay, so how long in advance before the exam do I have to arrive? You can arrive approximately 30 minutes to 30 minutes beforehand, because there will be 100 over students. We need some time to register them just to get them ready in terms of like the exam environment. So try not to be late. 30 minutes is the perfect time. Okay. Good question. Eddie asks if can calculator be used. No calculator will be allowed, as well as a protractor will not. You can bring a protractor, but no calculator will be allowed. Okay, great questions. Any other questions that you guys have? Let me see. Sample papers will be released in the group chat, so let me know. Drop me a WhatsApp if you're not in the group chat. My WhatsApp number is 91055348. Okay. Okay. If you have any other questions, let me know in the YouTube live. Yeah. So that's all for my webinar today. Maybe I'll wait a couple more minutes, 1 to 2 minutes before we end. If you have nothing left, that's it for today. I'll wait a couple more minutes if there are any parents who have any questions. Alright, and we will send out the info pack in our WhatsApp group today, and over the next few days there will be sample paper released by our teachers. Alright, so thank you so much for your time. I know it's a Saturday night. We hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, and if you are keen on our TikTok live, it is at 8 o'clock. It's a primary 5 like PSLE TikTok live. Alright, just wait maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Alright, thank you so much. If you have friends who are keen on joining, please send them the link to sign up, and y'all can come together. And then while your kids are taking the exam, y'all can go for brunch. Yeah? Alright, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you.